Hi, this is Dave, Fell Running Guide. Welcome to this week's navigation task. Got a route choice task this week. So I simply want to know which is the fastest way from A to B. What route would you take if you were doing that? And also how long you think it would take, either walking or running, or you could work it out for both. What route will you take and how long would it take you? And also, would you do anything different in poor visibility? Would you change your route in those conditions? So you might notice that we're actually on the Pennine Way there. So these diamond symbols signify the Pennine Way. And if you were doing the Pennine Way, you would probably want to stick to it, not take a shortcut across the middle. Also, if you're doing a race such as a spine race, it might be that you had to stick to the route. But if we were just doing a fell race where there were two checkpoints and this was your first one and then B was the second one, then we might decide to take a more direct route. So let's have a look at some of the route options. I've just swapped over to my mapping software for this. So I'm using Anquet or OMN mapping software, which I find really useful. I'll put a link in the description for you to have a look at if you're not familiar with it. Okay, A to B. So the shortest route from A to B would be a straight line heading west of north, straight down here, across the stream at maybe 410 meters and up the other side. So that's fine. We might be able to take a variation on that though, where we don't drop down as far and have as much to climb. So what if we went pretty much due north and then aim to cross the stream here? It's about 460 meters, just in this little gap here between this steep ground dropping in there and this steep ground dropping in there. So into there, and then maybe contouring up the other side, and then final climb up there. So the summit that we're looking for, or the point we're looking for, is 498 meters. So call that 500 meters, crossing here at 460. So we've got a 40-meter climb up the other side. So it might look something like that. So the distance there is just over 1.7 kilometers. So if you were running or walking that 1.7 kilometers with 40-meter climb, how long would that take? And that's the big question, isn't it? Because it's different for different people, depending on how fit you are or how fast you're running, or is it an all-day run or a short race. But we can use a couple of sort of formulas that will help us. So I like to think of running at 6 minutes per kilometre. So an hour for a 10k is a good sort of roundabout figure to use. So 6 minutes per kilometre down to the stream. We'd be slower than that on the climb up the other side, just purely because we're going uphill. So if we added a minute for every 30 metres that we climbed, I find that works fairly well sometimes. So how long would that take? Well, this is where the mapping software comes in handy, because you can put different combinations of pace in there and let it work it out for you. So here it is saying for that distance and that ascent it's going to take 11.5 minutes. Okay, so yeah, you could say I might be a bit faster than that or a bit slower, but we'll use that as a ballpark figure. What about walking? Well, I find if we just simply double that time, that's sometimes quite close. So rather than 11.5 minutes, if we were to call it 24 minutes or 25 minutes, that may work. You might want to work on Naismith's rule, which is for walkers, and that estimates walking at 12 minutes per kilometre. So that's half the pace of the run that I suggested. but adding a minute for every 10 meters up rather than a minute for every 30 meters. So that is our direct option. Obviously you could do slight variations on that. You could go a little bit further downstream or cross a little bit further upstream, but it's not going to add or take too much time off there. What about some other options though? Well, some people on the social media comments for this morning suggested they may just stick to the Pennine Way, go all the way along, handrailing the fence or the wall and do it that way. However, if we look at it, A is at just over 580 meters, and up here we're nearly 750 meters, so you've got a great climb up there to simply go back down the other side, and we've got almost 2 kilometers further taking that route. So that's not really I don't think that's a good option. It's far less efficient doing that. So these are the figures from the map software: 3.72 kilometers, 182 meters of climb, and that's the time 28.5 minutes. So compared to our 11.5 minutes for the direct route, and this again is for a run. If we were walking, then double it and add a bit for the slower climb. Okay, what about bad visibility options then? So some people have suggested that rather than going directly down, they would head northeast, find this stream, follow it down, cross over, go downstream, and then find the sheepfold and contour in from there, which sounds that's sensible. That's going to work. You're going to know where you are, but do you need to do that? Are you just so not sure or not confident with your compass work that you couldn't simply head north and hit the stream there? As long as you don't get it completely wrong and go northwest or west northwest and end up down here, then I don't think it's a problem. I don't think you need to head up for this stream. Yes, you've got the confidence of following a handrail, but as long as you follow the red needle, we're going to end up in here somewhere anyway. Even if you did find yourself down here, then as long as you go north up the other side, yes, you've got more climb to do, but it's still less climb than doing the long way around on the Pennine Way. And you're going to come out on this wall or fence line, this boundary line here, and you could simply relocate from there. What do I mean by that? Well, if it's really foggy, you can't see more than about 40 meters, and you hit a fence line, it comes out of the gloom. All you've got to do is take a bearing along it, and if it is running right to left as we look, and it's going in a north of west direction, then you're looking along here, so maybe 290 degrees, take a bearing along it. If it's going south of west, maybe 260 degrees, then you're on this section here. If it's running from southwest to northeast, then we've gone very wrong and we're on here, but at least we know where we are, but goodness knows how we've ended up getting there. We've also got the shape of the ground. So if we pop up the other side and we've got ground rising to our east, then we must be on this part here somewhere. If we've got ground dropping down to our east and rising up to our west or slightly north of west, then we're somewhere around where the B is. If we've got ground rising slightly to our right or to the east or northeast, then we've got to be somewhere in here. But again, we could check the direction of the walls and the fences there. So I don't think you need to be too worried with visibility of not trusting your compass. Trust it, head north, head north, head north, and we're going to hit this stream even in the dead of night. if you go north for a kilometre, we're going to hit this stream, and then if you continue going north up the other side, we're going to hit the Pennine Way again. So yeah, have a think about that. Have a think about having the confidence in your compass bearings. Okay, so there's no right or wrong answer on this one. There's just variations. You might choose to do something differently. Certainly going direct is probably, well, it's certainly going to be faster than taking the long way round. But yeah, whatever would suit you, your strengths and weaknesses. So hope you found that interesting. Thanks for watching. Look out for next week's navigation task. Bye for now.